give you 5 minutes because
Hello,
we are now.
the gentleman.
He took a picture that was sent and it was 3 minutes. And according to the instruction given back, now each of the schools apparently told what to do. Those who speak for and those who say
yes. Okay, so 3 minutes was what was handed. And then 2 minutes and 2 minutes for the support speaker. Does that work for? Yes. So, I will hand over the mic to our honorable and electable MC.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right. So I'm going to be calling.
We have a timekeeper here, so they should watch. Thank you. I will watch on them.
Okay, please note that's our timekeeper, the delectable United Presidents of Rotary Club of Ikeja GRA, Rotarian Abigail Academy. All right. Okay. The first school that we will be calling on for this competition is the Interance Club of Mayors Heights College. Hello, please come forward. Please, around the block. All right, let's go block.
According to UNODC, United Nations Office on Drug and Crimes, it states that positive parental background reduces the likelihood of falling for drug abuse by 40%. Good day, everyone. My name is Bam Ailing Arola, representing Mayors Heights College. And I come before you to stand strongly against the motion, which says that teachers and educational institutions do a better job of prevention of drug abuse than parents. Firstly, parental influence and bonding. The parent is the primary caregiver. The parent is the primary caregiver and role model of their children, and the relationship between a parent and the child will be parallel. This relationship bonds and builds the values, beliefs, and behaviors of the children in the society. And children, in return, are expected to be according to what their parents have taught them. And their parents know the capabilities of their children and what they are likely to fall subject to. My next point, early intervention and guidance. Parents are in a unique position to observe their children from an early age. This usually starts before they get to any educational institution and can make amendments before they reach the society, so they are less likely to fall victim or succumb to external advices. Emotional support and trust. The parent-child relationship is built on trust and emotional support, and the child is more likely to confide in their parents about issues like peer pressure, violence, or stress, or anything that can lead to drug abuse. And the parents in return can help these children to navigate, to choose other solutions aside from that. While some may argue that teachers, due to their professional training, can build better prevention against drug abuse, I strongly believe not, because parents can address the situation in a more personal and holistic manner. But teachers, on the other hand, are limited by curriculum constraints and the structure of the school, and there's only so much that can be said in a classroom. So in conclusion, both have a role in the prevention of drug, but we have to stand against this motion and realize the significance parents have in this crucial matter by not underestimating the power of parental love, support, and guidance, as well as the numerous sacrifices that parents make, including putting their own lives on pause, in order to raise good future leaders of tomorrow. Please put a round of applause for our parents.
Wow. Okay, the next speaker from Faith School. Please around the round of applause. Please, whenever you come, just take it so that things. Your sign starts now.
While schools undoubtedly have a role to play, I argue today that parents hold the most impactful and primary provision this crucial endeavor. The influence that begins in the home under a parent's guidance is ultimately more potent and primary than educational program. Good day, everyone. My name is Namaste Juba from Mayors Heights College, and I stand firmly to oppose the motion which says educational institutions play a greater role than parents in preventing drug abuse. In support to what my first speaker has said, parents are the first educators, shaping the child's core understanding of rights or wrong, responsibility, and the consequences of their action. This early consistent exposure to parental values form protective barrier. Adolescence is a time of exploration and often confusion. In this vulnerable period, young people are more likely to confide in those they trust the most, forming beliefs in their parents. Parents can create a safe space for open dialogue about, especially about drugs, peer pressure, and any struggle their child might be facing. This is something that is quite challenging for teachers to do within the settings of their classroom. In conclusion, the core of this debate is to find optimal balance. Neither can one fully replace the other. Teachers should support parents in guiding their children, and this therefore forms a powerful tool for young people to resist the temptation of drugs. Thank you.
Wonderful. Round of applause. Welcome on to the next school. Okay. We have the Interact Club of the Yoko Christians International High School. Time starts now.
Good day to the Honorable Chairman, esteemed panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, co-debaters, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the interactor of the Oluwaseun Titilayo from the Crescent International High School, proudly representing Interact Club of the Joko. I stand firmly to oppose the motion that educational institutions play a greater role than parents in preventing drug abuse. As my grandmother will always say, I could see well-behaved children. I want to die for normal, meaning see a well-raised child who traces the source to the parents. This shows that no institution, no matter how it's structured, can replace the genuine influence of parents in a child's life. We're at a time where many young people, especially members of Gen Z, are increasingly experimenting with drugs. Curiosity, peer pressure, or emotional struggles. Do you really think that if children are left in the care of teachers, they will become a over? I want to know. Well, to address this issue, the primary responsibility lies with the parents. First, let's define drug abuse. And when it says of drug, I'm not taking something without permission. I really want to recommended dose. Drugs like cocaine, heroin, or vitamin, and even medications like paracetamol, vitamin C, or hospital. Misuse these substances have just to reduce anxiety or control of it. However, parents have in preventing such behavior. Wow. Parents have more influence and access to their children. Parents spend more time with their children than teachers do. Things that only prefer really counseling their workers. Parents are involved in the day-to-day upbringing of their children. They can monitor, guide, and report really day-to-day activities. Also, parents are involved in the day-to-day emotional struggles of their children. They provide love, care, and affection for them. Also, parental care is long-term and deep. Academic sessions, holidays, and graduation days. Children for life. In our educational institution,
I guess we're carried away. That was a good one. Okay, can we have the second representative from the state to come forward? Please, a round of applause.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me go this out to you that if you exceed your time, 2 minutes will be deducted from your plan. All right? Okay, so maybe because we didn't tell you before now, kindly note that if you exceed your time, you'll be deducted 2 minutes from your class.
The role of parents as a way to impact the life of a child, as well as the range of drug abuse. Drug abuse could take different forms. It could be in form of taking drugs illegally or taking in drugs that cause prescription. We all do that, right? So with this, I'd like to take it to the chairman, panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, co-debaters, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I am the Olabi Happiness from the Crescent International High School, representing the Club of Ijoko, and opposing the motion, which says that educational institutes play a greater role than parents preventing drug abuse. In a world where we have teenagers who see themselves as adults and want to do this their own way, can we see that the education is to have control of them? The answer is a capital no. The only people that can have control of them is their parents. This is because a short parental child support, parental monitoring, and clear communication have repeatedly identified in researches as the most critical factors against drug abuse. Also, those supportive relations parents a child unlikely to seek comfort as an escape from drug abuse. Also, do you know that drug prevention is not a one-time lesson, but an ongoing dialogue and life example? Do you also know that when the effect of drug abuse starts on its victim, the education institute know where to be found, but the parents are present during unstructured time and when drug-related issues occur, giving them a more direct opportunity to intervene and model health mechanisms. Furthermore, the parents are a child first important teachers and agents of socialization. They still cover youth, morals, and behavioral ethics regarding health, responsibility, and subclass skills. This foundation is laid long before the child is even exposed to drug education. The school, on the other hand, provide important education and influence, but the parental influence generally are more impactful during preparatory years when attitude towards risk-taking are established. In addition, the parents not only provide their kids with small comfort, they provide them with basic environment, emotional well-being, and even primary influence on the child's value. This is not just a point, but a proof that definitely the parents plays a better role than education to prevent drug abuse. In conclusion, the parents helps in promoting formation of character and emotional resilience and necessary to act on information and report cases. This is a proof that the parents plays a better role than education to prevent drug abuse. Thank you.
Nice one. All right, now we're going to call the next school, Interact Club of Adedoku International School. Please give me your call. Okay. Okay, let's move on. Interact Club of Deep Health College. They are here. Okay. All right.
The battle against drug abuse is a multi-phase challenge, demanding various addresses from social institutions, which include educational institutions and parents. They must play a key role in preventing drug abuse or substance abuse. Therefore, we cannot just support the notion which states that educational institutions play a greater role in preventing drug abuse than students. Today, Mr. Chairman, esteemed panel of judges, my accurate timekeeper, my fellow debaters, ladies and gentlemen, I am Banjani Yola, a student of Diva College, and I am here to oppose the notion which states that educational institutions play a greater role in preventing drug abuse than parents. I would like to place my first stance on child development and role modeling. Parents are the one who nurture us. They care for us, they birth us, they are with us up to this moment. I mean, they make sure that we come. Yes, they are the ones that are there for us even when we collapse. A Yoruba adage said, "Any to work at don't want you to think talent said." This simply means that the one who wear the slippers or footwear feels the pain. To put their life on hold when they see us collapsing, just for them to build us back up. They will care even much more than any other people because they see us as their future, as their investment. I would like to place my stance and give an example on a real life situation. A boy named Somiwa, he was an honor roll student in his school, and athlete. He was moved from Nigeria to abroad. His schools always putting pressure on him. They made him their brand just because of his talent, without even showcasing any form of remorse on how that would do to his mental health. When he got into drugs, they were the same one that suspended him, told him to leave their school just because of this. Even though they were the initial cause of this, he had to be moved back to Nigeria and get rehab. That's another example. In addition, tailored guidance and approach and early intervention by parents is the first and utmost thing that can prevent drug abuse. We spend our life with our parents. They are with us in everything that we do. They will be the first one. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Now, the next representative from Deep Health College, please. Let's do this quickly. But before that, I would like to, as the speaker comes forward, I want to recognize our guest speaker, Mr. Fashakin Olusegun. Please, he needs to come to the high table. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. The guest speaker for today. Thank you so much. Let's give him a warm welcome as he comes to the high table. Okay, your time starts now.
Still on the existing protocol, my name is Bilamine Enyola, during the panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, co-debaters, ladies and gentlemen. On the first stance of parental influence from young age, parents are caregivers and influencers in a child's early life. From young age, parents learn values, morals, and behaviors from their parents. This foundation shaping their worldview and decision-making processes. Education institutions can only reinforce this law, but parents lay the groundwork. Moreover, home environment and role modeling. Home environment plays a significant role in shaping children's choices. Parents should create an open and honest and supporting home environment where children can feel comfortable discussing their issues and situations. Parents are role models and their decisions significantly affect their children by displaying healthy habits and good behaviors and coping mechanisms. Parents can influence positive choices in their children. In conclusion, education institution helps in supporting drug abuse, but parents plays a more significant role. Some may argue that education institution has a broader reach and structured program, but this program only supplements parental guidance. Through involvement of parents, crucial success can be attained. Importance of parental involvement can help prevent drug abuse and help make healthy choices. Thank you.
Thank you too. Okay. The next school, the Interest Club of Agbara Community High School. Please come forward. Oh, are you just one? What's okay, you're wearing a different okay. All right, your time starts now.
Good day, Mr. Chairman, panel of judges, accurate timekeepers, my co-debaters, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Olga Bessie Bodemikachi from Agua Community Senior High School. And I stand before you to speak in support of the motion that says, learning today, leading tomorrow. First, let's consider what this statement means. To learn means to gain anything, to acquire knowledge, skill, and value that shapes our character. To lead means to guide others towards a better future. Therefore, learning today, leading tomorrow means that the skills and value which we acquire will empower us to become leadership of tomorrow. Parents can provide support and guidance outside the school. They can be enforced the lesson learned in school by providing personalized guidance, which they tailored approach. This individualized approach is much more than a scientific educational program. Facts speaks for themselves. So I ask you, can education institution only provide the emotional support and personal guidance the parents offer preventing drug abuse? So, what is the effective method in preventing drug abuse among children? Is it only through educational institutions alone, or the combined efforts of educators and parents? Considering the fact that nearly 30% of teenagers are found using drugs, percent of teenagers of the age of 18, and this addiction risks are of 40 to 60% genetic factor. The National Survey of Drug Use and Health also states that 1.86 million of adolescents of age 12 to 17 are found using drugs.
Time up.
In conclusion, I'm sure that I'm very convinced that the education institution does not make more role in campaigning preventing drug abuse.
Thank you. All right. So, the second representative from the same school, the Interact Club of Ikotu Senior High School. Round of applause.
A shrill and impactful theologian was set on that quote. Ultimate role models for children. The war, movement, and action, not an effect. The day is to be members of hope. My co-leaders are my fellow students. It's Jenny Arrow London, a qualified student of Ikotu Senior High School. It's a matter of standpoint to fight against the motion that says education institution plays a greater role of parents in preventing drug abuse. One education institution undeniably plays a role in preventing drug abuse. Contain the factors such as parental influence, parental intervention, and parental emotional connection in preventing drug abuse. The following are the key aspects to prove my parents. Firstly, parental influence is paramount. Parents are often the primary caregivers and role models for children, making their primary influential in shaping their child's values and behaviors. One support, guidance, and emotional connection, making children develop resilience and decision-making skills. Secondly, consistency and repetition. Consistently reinforce positive values and behaviors, making students develop knowledge and decision-making skills. In conclusion, a continual approach to their child's unique needs, personality, and circumstances. The following are the facts to back up my point. Do you know that the home is the first school and the parents are the first teachers? Do you know that parents are the ultimate role model for children? Do you know that parents are the right of defense against drug abuse? But this is never points of mine. I hope I've been able to convince you.
All right, now moving on to the next school, the Interact Club of Alimosho Senior High School. Please, let's clap, let's encourage you now.
The lion is very powerful in strong with but it can never teach an eaglet to fly. It is forbidden to enter a house without salutation. Impartial panel of judges, accurate life people, state debaters, ladies and gentlemen. From the International School of Agriculture Senior Grammar School. Here to a program which states educational institutions play a greater role than parents in preventing drug abuse. Drug abuse can be referred as misused by excessive use of substance, which is harmful to one's physical, mental, or emotional health. Educational institutions play a crucial role in the life of the child, and are definitely not important than parents in their capacity to sustain drug abuse. These are my reasons. Responsible for a child's fundamental development. The element was fundamental values, educational equity, fundamental values, area patterns and coping mechanism, feminism in the child. WWW, the research based government, the head of pediatrics and military medicine. That students with cooperative parents are high responsiveness and high management control are less likely to engage in substance use. Furthermore, let us spend more time with our parents than their education. From my definition of drug abuse, recall that I mentioned two important words, excessive and misuse. The foundational knowledge of revenue and excesses and the collective teaching of self-control, found normally from parents of any kind. Let's do the math. Students spend 7 to 8 hours in their teaching of grade, meaning that informal parenting for a complete 16 hours daily. The number of hours from your parents is these are used by the capital instructors to train up a child in where to go and when you say you will not have the rules. In conclusion, another important reason is that educators use larger population and focus is reduced. National policy of education in Nigeria reports the current student ratio (SPR) to be 1 to 50 and the next recommended 1 to 40. But trainers teachers are dealing with their own worries, especially their children, which makes it harder for them to battle the tendencies of substance use. The job is usually shifted to the answer with limited time and coverage. Ladies and gentlemen, I have not stated 3 points in the course of my argument. Parents are responsible for a child's fundamental development. Learners spend more time with their parents than with their teachers. And in the word of the great philosopher Plato, not society in the world will be influence of greatness necessary.
When your time is up. All right, please, the next representative from the Aliposho Senior High School, please. A round of applause. Your time starts now.
Drug abuse is a critical issue affecting individuals, families, and society globally. However, a greater role than educational in preventing drug abuse. It is forbidden to enter yard of sanitation. Good honor moderators, distinguished judges. My name is Azan Fekina, a representative of Animation Senior Grammar School. Here to uphold the vote, we state educational institution plays a greater role than parents in preventing drug abuse. Firstly, caregivers and role models, making them in leading position to shape their children's attitudes, values, and behaviors from their early age. The National Institute of Health confirmed that 75 to 90% of care to adults and adolescents comes from their home. And you remember how people say this, meaning childhood begins at home. Secondly, where educational institutions lack limited interaction time and having time and excuse to bring the children back home, the children have the right to accept them because they are the owner. And English identity says, the hand and love of baby build the world. Ladies and gentlemen, in course of argument, have listed 2 points. Parents are primary caregivers or role models to their children. And parents are more responsible for children and behavior outside. Thank you.
All right, we're moving on. All right, the next school, the Interact Club of LHS College, OTA. Encourage her. Your time starts now.
I stand here to discuss an important topic affecting our society, the battle against drug abuse. Good day, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, panel of judges, operator, and my co-debaters. Why parents have crucial role in shaping their child's value? School has broader reach because they provide specialized resources, structured systems, and extracurricular activities which steer students away from the destructive behavior of drug abuse. Now to my main point. First, professional structures. This is what our teachers, our counselors, they are trained to give science-based knowledge on drugs. Our parents are not trained. The counselors, they help to detect early signs of drug abuse in our youth. This also helps to calm the situation when the situation worsens. Also, we have policies and preventive system. The school creates a law against drug abuse and also develop an anti-drug group which discourages students. We discourage students from drug abuse, promoting a healthy lifestyle. Finally, we have a mentoring program. This is a one-on-one interaction between the teacher and the student. This one-on-one interaction is not just talking and we educate them and also make it a safe place for students to all the teachers after. I'm having a temperature, which is also the major factor of drug abuse. I'm having these friends, they are convincing me to join into this kind of healing. And then they open up to the teachers and say, how are you going to go about this and that. For information, parents may teach, they may train the students. But in the educational institution raise fight the main battles, and it's also born through professional emotional support, extracurricular activities, which also help to prevent our youth engaging into this bad drug and we think.
Round of applause, and the second representative of the same school. Please encourage that.
Standing on existing protocol, my name is Akita Oluwadosarabi from NHS College, Kuta. Still focusing on the topic that states that educational institution plays a vital and important role that parents in prevention of drug abuse. Now, most children or students, I should say, don't play out their natural or real behavior at home. Or do you? Should I place question to you? The answer is clearly no, because of the fear of being criticized by their parents or judged. Most typical African parents, once you make just one mistake, they begin to count all the mistakes you've made since you've been born as a child. That's how it is. So children tend to find comfort in people of their age group, their peers, where they feel they can flow with and talk without being judged. My opponent said parents provide emotional support. What are students who live in school? I personally, I stay in the hostel. I get to see my parents just once or twice a month. Where do I get my emotional support? From teachers, from counselors, from psychologists. That's where I get my own emotional support from. Most parents might claim that my child cannot do this, my child cannot do that. But the fact still remains that they don't know their children more than teachers do. Because teachers are the ones who spend their entire day lecturing them, showing the way they behave. Parents don't go into the classroom and sit with their children and say that, okay, listen to this, don't play with this, don't play with that. That's not how it works. Teachers are the ones who mentor students, who go after them and tell them the right things. Now, a parent who works in Lagos tries to beat Lagos traffic, stays in the traffic for more than 2 hours, and goes to office queried by his boss, and he comes home to come and sit down and lecture his child about the consequences of drug abuse. No, it's not possible. Thank you.
Round of applause for the International Law of NHS College also. Okay, we need to recognize a wonderful personality who just came in gallantly. The DRR, District Motor Representative, Halil Awesu. Please, stand up for on to the next school. The next school is Interact Club of Ewosu Senior Grammar School. A round of applause. Your time starts now.
Good evening, Mr. Moderator, impartial panel of judges, accurate experts, coordinators, and ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mr. Atokari Muzenat, a bona fide student of Ewosu. Parents. Firstly, we all know that parents are the president of DPED. Studies show when parents are actively involved, communicating, monitoring, and supporting. This has significantly lower chance of involving themselves in drug abuse. Good help, but parent involvement is the key to lasting impact. When parents actively guide and support, children feel valued and then are less likely to turn to drugs. Their involvement brings about trust and discipline, which schools can provide. As the saying goes, an apple never falls far from its. Furthermore, parents implement these attitudes and habits daily. They model behaviors and set certain rules which schools cannot fully provide. Children who often get messages and information about drugs are not likely to abuse substances. This is due to the fact that parents often educate their children and give them information on all they need to know about drugs. These are the physical and negative influence, psychological and mental influence drug has on everyone. As the saying goes, any guidance shapes lifelong behavior. Parents have been there from the very start to impact positively on their kids. School programs are occasional, and this is because schools mainly focus on coaching the children academically. Meanwhile, the program comes once in a while. And it has less impact on the kids. Moreover, program focus only hits students enough because some school drug programs have limited impact unless with the backup of parents present. This is because parents control and correct behaviors outside school house, which makes it much more easier with their participation in such programs for the children to be attentive. The opponent may say that schools alone can deal with the responsibility of preventing drug abuse, but I stand strongly against it because if parents hadn't been there from the very beginning to prove their kids and impart good knowledge in them, it would be a very hard task and very uneasy for the school. At the time, they will get tired of condoning the children's excesses. So many of us are here today. We have so many big names. Why? Due to the support of parents. Is it just financially? No, but with the positive word, the positive influence, and the good behavior they instinct into us. With this strong point of mind, I know I'll be able to convince you that parents play a crucial and vital role in preventing drug abuse. Round of applause. Okay, now we have the second representative from the state school. Please, a round of applause. Your time starts now.
Standing before the SAT protocol, I am the director of goodness of praise, the bona fide student of the Senior Grammar School. I'm here to continue from where my chief speaker stopped. Parental influence begins earlier and runs far. A child first role model and their parents, not their teachers. Values, disciplines, and lifestyle habits are learned from at home. If a child sees his or her parent discouraging substance use, and modeling healthy working strategies, they are less likely to turn to drugs. Furthermore, trust and emotional bond. Children are more likely to listen to and trust their parents' money because of the emotional bond. Parental love and consent can carry more weight than institutional rules or lectures. Open communication allows children to share peer pressures or temptations that schools may never detect. Moreover, shared responsibility, but parents are planning. Schools can support with education and awareness, but prevention requires personalized attention, emotional support, and consistent discipline. These are the things only parents provide effectively. If parents fail, schools can do very little to undo years of influence. Without strong parental guidance, school-based programs alone cannot prevent drug abuse. Some may say that teachers are the only ones that are capable of preventing children going into drug abuse. I disagree. Why? Because they cannot replace the unique authority and emotional influence parents hold. Drug abuse often begins outside school premises. This is where parents' role becomes crucial. With this solid point of mind, I know I've been able to convince you that parents play a greater role than the educational institution in preventing drug abuse.
Round of applause. All right, the next school is Shadow Senior Grammar School. Are you ready? All right, your time starts now.
Train up the child the way he should go and when his will not depart from you. Good day, Mr. Chairman, Father of Judges, Marking Technical, and my co-debater. The only time he reminds us to program the two verses that train up the child the way he should go and when his will not depart from you. Telling children that the Christian will belong to the parent and not to the school. That is why parents from public motion that say educational institution play a greater role than parents in preventing drug abuse. My name is Adisa Tofego from Ishishane Local Grammar School. I am the president of my internal club. I would like to begin with this my distinguished audience. Can you tell us the child like his own mother? How can the people the child after closing hours? How can we remember that you not start parents and you are not very childlike? If the child is really God, by you put an non you know that they are not going to be drastically with you. That is why when you are wanted, I can't think it is at all. I will practice the parent, but I not take the greater responsibility. If you ever pay them to pay up the child money, no matter the amount of effort in school, you can never pay to repair that child. We don't know that we pay few hours in school, but I can pay our lifetime there. No, care, and they can be effective earlier than we detect. That is why we look at our society. We see many drug addicts. So that is a job go to. That is because we are not to school. You all activity school and not taking that greater responsibility. Now, I want to say, one said that the whole illusion of the civilization, if I become one that we have violence against them, cannot start. If nothing is good that bring that child be put together. Now, I want to say something. If a counselor is or children, and one children, children decide their being. My child is being that really want to be cannot take that in time. That's why the a greater responsibility in aligning the child to get the job practicing. If the father follows, the mother, the child may follow. And if the mother needs the job, the child may follow. That's why parents play a crucial role and not the school. Thank you. All right, so now the second representative for the school, your time starts now. Still organizing protocol of my first speaker, acknowledge the solid foundation she laid. My name is Impara Problema from Blessing Knowledge. I would like to begin with this. A school may teach and count, but the real foundation of a child's behavior is built at home. A child's spend every day learning how to speak, how to act, and what others to speak by their parents. And that's what the big question to me. Foundation is weak. Not good at institution completely. Opportunity to ask. Don't let to the child. Don't not train the child. Don't shape the child everyone. First value and first habits. It's not the school, it is the parents. How do they bring to the first teacher? They have the permanent connection with the child. They notice changes faster than any parent can, any teacher can. They notice changes faster than any parent can. They understand that child's habits. Child's habits. You understand that child habit and child behavior better than any school ever will. Yes. Yes, the good things are awareness, but they won't be giving hundreds and hundreds of students. If you can teach a follow you child or monitor you to spend time with after school, okay, parents can try and monitor their children inside and outside school. But furthermore, why do you teach the awareness of drug abuse? Why you enlighten the hands of parents? They put the child from the start. But it's about their daily behavior, give them regular guidance, not through and replace. The foundation, a school only has to read. A school only has to read. In conclusion, let me enlighten you on this. Drug abuse is not qualified account, but discovered by parental law, emotional support and relational. All right, let's move on. Okay, the next school is the Interim Club of Ilupeju Grammar School. All right. Okay, please come out quickly. Okay, your time starts now. Parents are the strongest in the children have in the case. There's no country that can charge more use drug. But the little we can help reduce the expense damage. But these are citizens expecting. Put them as small digital. If I shop around world, after that, get like my parents and I go with us, I might be bashing for them. Science for always can tell me. Otherwise, every presenting page is your passport. Lagos and the first day. Today, our parents motion state education is strongly against our parents to prevent drug abuse. That's my perspective. It's my pleasure to find the hero drug abuse. Drug abuse is the use of drug. The facts which you just want to substance in a big substance needed approved, not provided by a medical profession. Some of these drugs are cigarettes, marijuana, and so on. Now let's be born of potential people. It starts to see that children who have mental intervention are more likely to engage in drug abuse. Statistically, 70% of teens who abuse drugs all are dependent on disapproval of this or that. And this thing with my reason. One, drug exposure. Parents have a more drug exposure of the kid. Allow them to monitor their behavior and not deny their friends the kid. I mean, how many hours do you spend in school? You spend 7, 8, 9 hours. I spend 14, 15, 16, 17 hours to lead the kid. So then I'm trying to interact with the kid, to interact with the kid's life, and to explore the kid's life. And that's kind of as one of the major aspects of drug abuse. That don't you drug abuse is peer pressure. If you can build a relationship with the kid, so not like peer pressure. Role model. You might not need as a parent, but you can have to behavior in place your child in one way or the other. You cannot go yesterday night. Your child will be while you're sleeping cocaine, while drinking alcohol. I think all the next morning, and you're like, Johnny, please don't smoke. Okay, don't do that. What do you think the child will have around mental stability? What do you think the child will have around perspective? The child with you, I'm sorry to say, but the child with you, my parents, my dad is not a role model to me. As a parent, you more, and I said again, you more convert any perception time around that job. For example, some kids feel like everybody thinks, some doctors will fly cocaine, some doctors do this. As a parent, you have made charge to stop that perception. Ultimately, as a major cornerstone in preventing drug abuse. However, for the collaborative effort between educational institutions and parents can significantly come together and make children to avoid drug abuse. My ladies and gentlemen, judges, I know this viewpoint of mine. I know, and I am sure that the English office you. In one way or that, I'm going to more time and education institution preventing drug abuse. And now, I would like to think what that people on the road. Prayers are highly that was sent to God. So I honor them by saying, thank you, mommies and dad. Thank you. The next representative of the same school, your time starts now.
All parties duly extended. Standing in front of his away Oluwatife Mary, a bona fide class of Ilikoji Senior Grammar School, representing the Insular Club of Lagos County First State, kicking against the talk which says educational institution play a better role than parents in preventing drug abuse. What educational institution plays a significant role in shaping young minds? It is essential to know that parents have a more profound impact in preventing drug abuse among children. Parents are the primary caregivers and role model, and their influence begins from a very young age. The people between parents and their children is very unique, allowing for a more effective guidance, support, and monitoring. I stand and firmly believe that parents play a greater role than educational institutions in preventing drug abuse. We should take a look at the parental bond. We should take a look at the parental influence and bonding. Parents have a significant impact in preventing drug abuse due to their early and consistent involvement of their children's life. From infancy to adulthood, parents shape their children's value, attitude, and beliefs. Children learn is used for belief, trust, and mutual respect, making it more easier for parents to communicate effectively on sensitive issues like drug abuse. Educational institutions, on the other hand, have limited time and scope to influence students in the same way. 2. Intervention and guidance are in better position to identify early warning signs of drug abuse and intervene before problems escalate. They monitor their children's behavior, trends, and activities, providing guidance and setting boundaries. They also model healthy habits and prevent and helping positive coping mechanisms, reducing the likelihood of their children turning to substance abuse. When educational institutions can offer help, they often empower students at a point when problem or habit may already be entrenched. By working together, and educators can create a supportive environment that empowers young people to stay away from substance abuse. But that doesn't change the fact that parents play a greater role than educational institutions in preventing drug abuse. Before I would like to jump into the approach which says parents can plant a magic garden that helps our children grow. Thank you.
Round of applause. Wonderful. All right, we're moving on to the next school, the Interact Club of Command Secondary School. All right. Your time starts now.
Good day, panel. I'm very thankful for this chairman, ladies and gentlemen, and my faith leader. My name is Elizabeth, President of the Club of Command Secondary School. Today I stand before you to support the motion to say that educational institution plays a greater role than parenting jobs. First and foremost, what is an educational institution? An educational institution refers to any organization or establishment that provides education or training to an individual. Example as and any other organization that are dedicated to impacting knowledge to an individual, such as Internal Club of Christ Rotary International. What is drug abuse? Drug abuse refers to the misuse or excessive use of drugs or substances that have negative consequences on an individual. On an individual mental, physical, and social health, as well as overall well-being. Who are parents? Oxford Learner Dictionary defines parents as a person's father or mother. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know that according to the United Nations, there are over 35 million young people worldwide that suffer from drug disorders, which may have started in just under peer pressure? If school plays such a central role in the problem, then surely the school must play a major role in the solution. You will agree with me that educational institutions play a vital role than parents in preventing drug abuse, and here is why. First, students spend most of their time in school during their vulnerable years. A child spends at least 6 to 8 hours daily in school and 5 days a week at school. This consistent influence means that school shapes habits, thinking, behavior more than parents who are absent due to work or other responsibilities. School has instituted varieties of initiatives and programs that are aimed to prevent drug abuse. This includes comprehensive educational sections that highlight the dangers, damages, and consequences of drug abuse. Some schools also have mentorship programs where alumni or older students support younger students in making healthy choices. Many schools create awareness with guest speakers and activities that are designed to engage students in actively preventing drug abuse. Furthermore, the school environment plays to raise the student attitude towards drug abuse. A positive and supportive school environment fosters a sense of belonging, thereby discouraging drug abuse. Teachers are usually mentors to their students. They play a vital role in preventing drug abuse. They create open lines of communication, fostering an environment where the student feels comfortable to seek guidance. They share personal experience. Relatable perspective, discuss sensitive topics about drugs, such as drug abuse, that without judgment, fostering an environment where the student is comfortable to seek advice. In conclusion, parents and
time off. All right, now we have the second representative of the same school. Around the clock.
My name is Kenneth Victoria, representing the Italian Club of Command Secondary School, Lagos. I'm here to support the mission which says educational institutions play a greater role than parents preventing drug abuse. To further towards my critical said, educational improvement comprehensive program aimed at preventing drug abuse among students. This program equips students with necessary information. This program equips students with necessary knowledge and skills to make informed decisions through workshops, seminars, and other interactive sessions. Students learn about the danger of drug abuse and their effect to their health and strategies to resist prevention. School often collaborate with health professionals to provide accurate and authoritative information, ensuring students receive consistent and credible education on these critical issues. School enforce strict policies and regulations to deter the use of drug abuse among students. For instance, in my school, Command Secondary School, Lagos, the school has zero tolerance policies for possessing, use, or distributing drugs on campus. They establish clear consequences such as suspension or expulsion, which emphasizes on the seriousness of this issue. Additionally, random drug testing and regular wholesale checking are some of the methods employed as preventive measures in my school. How many parents can read this?
This is not only create a safer environment, but also reinforce the message that drug abuse is unacceptable within the school community. Extracurricular activities and clubs also provide students with productive outlets for their time and energy, thereby reduce the likelihood of turning drugs for entertainment or entertainment or escapes. For example, in my school, Round the clock. The time is up. Please, I would like to call on the Interact Club of Malta Grace College, Banda. Please come on. Thank you so much. They came very early. Please, a round of applause.
Charity, they say, begins from home. The home front, the first pillar in character building. A place where a child is allowed to fully and freely express himself without fear of judgment. Your family, your parents are your rock, your backbone in present times. But guess what? Drugs have molded themselves in a way that makes it look as though they offer the best comfort. Honorable judges, esteemed audience, and my fellow debaters, the motion before us in educational institutions play a greater role than parents in preventing drug abuse. I am Marvelous Solaniyo from Malta Grace College, stand firmly against the motion. First of all, let's get to the root cause of this matter called drug abuse. In school, students have to go through depression, harassment, body shaming, bullying, marginalization, and so much more, which leads them to seek comfort, solution, and acceptance in a slow yet surely destructive whirlpool of a world of drugs. My first argument is that educational institutions play a greater role in providing information rather than covering vices. Your school largely dish out all the information about a topic to you. But when they come face to face with a student that is already involved in the act, they would rather expel the student, which brings me to what one of my opponents said. The school would rather expel the student, pushing him or her into the silent clutches of society and its vices. Your parents, on the other hand, are the only ones whose love, care, and support can keep you going. Once they see that you're already involved in the act, they would relentlessly search for help for you until you get the help you need. And when they do, they would make sure they stick by you till the end. Will your teachers do that for you? Will your classmates do that for you? Will your so-called educational institutions do that for you? I don't think so. My second argument is communication with parents. What you can speak to your parents so easily about would definitely not come out the same way with your teacher. Which means that the more information your parents have about you, the easier it is for them to offer help when you need it. My third argument is exposure in schools. This comes in two forms. Exposure in terms of lectures concerning this topic about substance abuse, which immediately triggers curiosity in the minds of innocent students. And exposure in terms of having to come to school day in, day out, and mingle with students who are already involved in the act. Now tell me, if educational institutions are providing the exposure, how can you also tell me that they play a greater role in preventing drug abuse? Thank you.
Thank you. All right. The second representative from Malta Grace College. Round of applause. What time starts now?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we judges, now great thank you for my co-debaters. Imagine a fortress built by brick and mortar in the distant schoolyard, or one that is forged through unbreakable bonds of family under your roof. I stand there as a supporting speaker of the opposition, and I am assuring you from Malta Grace College. But let's be realistic. If we are not in the darkness, who will bring us to the light? So tell me, blood is thicker than any school collection. Who knows a child better than parents? Who created them with their first brains? Help them from their presidents. We are students. We move with so many peers, not knowing who is this or that. Finally, we are all seated here. We don't know what to do in closed spaces. We all have skeletons in our cupboards. Do you do this in class? Do you do it in the principal's office? Or in church? You don't do it in your homes. And you parents know immediately what to do about what you've done. placing them at the front line. Schools are supporting development and should not be placed at the forefront in the fight against drug abuse. To tell you that, and to conclude, this is a collaborative effort between students and teachers, including parents. They should not also eclipse the fight on parents and take all the glory. Parents face everything. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we move on. Okay, the next school is Interact Club of Radiant High School. Are they here? All right, so they're looking radiant. Please round of applause as she comes forward. Your time starts now.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, co-debaters, ladies and gentlemen. I am Interactor Kendra, representing the Interact Club of Radiant High School FESTAC, here to support the motion. Educational institutions play a greater role than parents in preventing drug abuse. Before we examine the possible reasons, let's be clear on what drug abuse means. That is the harmful or excessive use of substances like alcohols, medicines, illegal hard drugs, which damage the body, the health, mind, and society. And by educational institutions, to schools, colleges, and universities. With this definition in place, let's also note that drug abuse is a real and rising danger for most youths in our society, and schools stand as the strongest defense in this battle. With that, I present my argument. Peer influence. A common yet powerful factor majorly responsible for drug abuse among our youth. Get this, all morals and values instilled upon a child can vanish in an instant upon peer influence. Not all parents know the kind of people that their children have as friends, or the people they are cheated in. Not even spiritual, but it's important that we know as students and nothing with themselves. It's the school where the pressure begins, and it's still where the pressure can be controlled. Therefore, in school, the epicenter of both problem and solution. Even they come with the of drug abuse, by making talks, seminars, and campaigns, which aim for the modification, eradication, elimination, and prevention of drug abuse. I say that it's something that has a muscle for all, and speaking of the expertise and resources to spread talk vital information. What even more interesting is the fact that schools have the ability to reach multitude of students at once. And they have the topic, the one topic, drug abuse, embedded in their curriculum, even which they teach at an unmatchable level. Lastly, teachers and counselors spend a great length of time with students in a day. Making it to let you change the behavior, change the aggression, depression, withdrawal, and dropping in grades. Don't get me wrong. Parents don't do these changes, but not children now are facing parents. Not children are leaving their parents. Oh God. So in conclusion, schools have the power to enforce students. They have the power to empower students to make the right decisions and to overcome successfully overcome challenges. Thank you. Round of applause. Okay, the second representative of the same school, please come forward, come forward. Clap, 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 and collect now. The time starts now. Good morning, honorable judges, Mr. Chairman, accurate timekeeper, co-debaters, ladies and gentlemen. I am Interactor Hezbollah, which is representing the Interact Club of Radiant High School. And today I stand firmly in support of the motion which states that educational institutions play the greater role than parents in the prevention of drug abuse. And here is why. First and foremost, the amount of time spent in schools. According to UNESCO, which is the United Nations Educational, Scientific, Cultural Organization, the average student spends about 1,000 hours in schools each year, which is more time than they spend with their parents wide awake. Take for instance, the traditional school starts by 8 a.m. and closes by 3 p.m., giving students approximately 7 hours to be in school. The normal student gets home between 3:30 to 4 p.m. and is expected to be in bed by 9 p.m., meaning that they have approximately 5 hours to be with their parents right away. I believe that this proves that students do spend more time with their teachers in schools than their parents. But nobody even asks, what of parents that work 9 to 5 jobs, or parents that work 8 to 8 jobs? What time do they even have to spend with their children? Not to even talk of children in boarding schools that spend 60% of their year in school, meaning that they spend about 3 months in schools and only 1 month with their parents. I strongly believe that this puts educational institutions in the better position to curb or prevent drug abuse. More importantly, the presence of professional guidance. Most schools have professionally trained guardian counselors or health education instructors which can hold seminars and workshops with students and teach them of the dangers of abusing drugs. Also, the Federal Ministry of Education works in accordance with the National Drug Law, Nigerian Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, and ensure that each school has counselors that host seminars and workshops with students to teach them on the dangers of abusing drugs. Thank you.
All right. All right, thank you very much. Okay, so we're moving on to the next school, the Interact Club. Sorry, let me just check this here so that we get the correct. Oh yeah. The Interact Club. Oh, we have our junior college. Where are they? Please, quickly. Your time starts. What?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, sir, panel of educators, accurate timekeeper, my co-debaters, teachers, and listening audience. My name is Obinali Emerald. I'm a student of Okiafa Junior College. I'm here to support the notion which states educational institution plays a greater role than parents in preventing drug abuse. First and foremost, I would like to look into the keyword, drug abuse. What is drug abuse? Drug abuse is the use of drugs illegally or the use of drugs excessively or for purposes other than the intended medical use. Common types of drug abuse are stimulant abuse, cocaine abuse, Adderall abuse, meth abuse, opioid abuse, heroin abuse, prescription painkillers, and sedative abuse. Causes of drug abuse. 1. Experimental use of drugs in social situations. 2. Absence of consistent family support. 3. Mental health condition of some people. And 4. Exposure to ongoing environmental pressure. Now, let's look at how drug abuse can be prevented. Drug abuse can be prevented by the following ways. 1. Understanding how addiction develops. 2. Examining the risk factors. 3. Seeking help for mental conditions. 4. Keeping a well-balanced life. To combat this menace called drug abuse, elements of effective prevention programs can be involved by parents, institutions, and community as a whole to provide substance abuse prevention programs for the populace. Makandi Bokurusina, Ebewa, Ebeanodachi, even the institution offered to begin training. Even the Bible said it in Proverbs 13, verse 24, spare God and spoil the child. As a matter of fact, educational institutions play a greater role than parents in preventing drug abuse because of these words of mine. First of all, students spend more hours in schools than they do at home, hereby giving the institution more time to cooperate with the students. 2. Institutions encourage dialogue among peers, while parents might use words or critics. 3. Institutions avoid stigmatizing the group involved, but parents or society might expose it. 4. Institutions have the resources for support and treatment, while lack of funds can make a parent refrain. 5. And lastly, institutions encourage school programs by collaborating with other institutions to integrate drug education into the school curriculum, hereby having a holistic approach which fosters resilience, emotional intelligence, and peer support. While the parents cannot do more than crying out to the child if possible. In conclusion, parents are important, but educational institutions play a crucial role. Many people it's very well as well.
We just love the mind. A lot of people convince you right now and get to the institution. Make the better way of doing it. If you ready, make it sure about the next one.
There's nothing that you can do from ready to go. Quickly. We don't have much time. We don't have
that parents might spend more time at home than they do. When time that they are. But if you come to the teachers or their way, I'll allow me to use myself as a case. I spend a lot of time to school. I will take my school closes by 3:45 every day, so Monday to Thursday, and closes by 3 on Friday. My behavioral traits and my characteristics have been affected greatly by the teachers and people I surround myself with. Teachers offer many traits to the students because they are always there. What about boarding schools? You see, they spend a lot of time with their parents. But with boarding schools, the only people that can monitor these children, the right part to go, are their teachers. Secondly, parents guide, educational institutions guide and guard. GUIDE is guide, while GUARD is guard. To guide is the act of putting someone in the right path to go, advising them, and teaching them and training them in the right path. But to guard is
My honorable Chama, honorable judge, African and my co-leader, and my daughter, we were born. We talk about my let's go. Some institution, not like education institution. Educational institution and managed an organization to make aid for complete organization. Of course, we also have the one can define that the best identity for the right one of the child. In order for you to understand the education, you must not understand the control. Not that you can define as excessive or misuse of drugs or drugs that have the constitution. Share this with teacher and so that's facility because the relationship between children is it the text like in a school have discipline development in a school good achievement. You may have to teacher. Teacher is not just a tutor, it's an essential part in an education. Because don't play better role than the prevention of drug abuse. The excessive involvement and engagement of the student in total out revenue of drug abuse.
My research shows that students spend 75% of their time in school and at school. For example, I work with a brother, spend 9 months in school and 3 months at school. People said that students spend more time with their parents than their teachers. Students require emotional support, guidance, and mentorship, which is essential for their social and emotional development, and that teachers can provide. I'm not saying that parents don't provide I'm trying to say is that teachers are there. They are they can provide their children. Be a little disappointment or disappointing their parents. Today, I always about what people their parents I'm not just letting start the same habit for them where they can freely express themselves without fear of discrimination or judgment. In conclusion, I want to quote of the word of the which says, a good teacher inspires growth, ignites imagination, and instills a love of learning. With this, help us convince you on my side that education Here. Junior high school. All right, your time starts now.
Good morning, honorable judges. Worthy of honor. I'm a bona fide student of a social issue affecting the future of the society, drug abuse. The war against drug abuse requires a multifaceted approach. For supporting this motion is that firstly, structured program to educate students about the dangers of drug abuse. This program can include workshops, seminars, and with accurate information and equip them with the skills they need to make informed decisions. Also, supporting environment. Educational institutions promote supportive environment among teachers, students, and peers. Schools also promote extracurricular activities that build self-esteem and confidence, further reducing risks of drug abuse. Lastly, expert guidance. Educational institutions have access support and expert guidance to students. These professionals can identify early signs of drug abuse and can intervene appropriately by providing help to overcome challenges. In conclusion, the evidence is clear. Educational institutions are pivotal in preventing drug abuse. Together, let us acknowledge the role of educational institutions in shaping a drug-free environment. Thank you, honorable judges, and my field with that. I hope you see the point of mine. I'll be able to convince you and that parents is preventing drug abuse. Let us work together to empower and to build a healthier and drug-free environment. Thank you for your attention, and I need it.
Thank you, too. All right. Your time starts what? Thank you.
Thank you, honorable judges. Thank you, Papa Speaker, for your introduction, opening remarks, and provoking analysis. My name is Salami Aisha. I'm a bona fide student of Junior High School. Building upon the points made by my worthy opponents, I would like to present an alternative perspective on the role of preventing drug abuse. What my opponents argues that parents play a greater role than educational institutions to counter with the following points. Firstly, limited parental influence. Parents, while parents are important role model, their influence competition on the other hand can provide expert-led education and awareness program that caters to a large number of students. Secondly, inconsistent parental supervision. Parents may not always be present or aware of the child's activities, making it challenging to intervene early. Educational institutions can provide assistant supervision and support through well-trained teachers and counselors. Another important point is one-size-fits-all parental approach. Which parents may try to tailor their approach towards a child's needs. They might not have the resources and expertise to do so effectively. Educational institutions can provide a more comprehensive approach, leveraging resources and expertise to support students. In conclusion, while parents play a vital role in shaping the child's value and attitude, educational institutions are better equipped to provide structured education, content supervision, and awareness programs. By leveraging these strengths, educational institutions can play a vital role in preventing drug abuse among students. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're moving on to the next school. The Interact Club of Mende Senior High School. Let's go. Let's go. Are we all excited? Are we learning? You need to learn. We need to keep learning. Your time starts what? Thank you.
Imagine a world where the innocence of childhood is shattered by the grip of addiction. A world where the potential of the young mind is distinguished by the devastating consequences of drug abuse. Respect, they say, is reciprocal, and you have to reciprocate. You have to be respected. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, panels of judges, accurate and ladies and gentlemen. Standing before you is Zion David, a qualified representative of the great and prestigious Mende Senior High School, and I rise to support the motion that educational institutions play a greater role in preventing drug abuse. Drug abuse, as the word quote, refers to the misuse of drugs like marijuana, heroin, and cocaine. I stand firmly on my ground one and point, and I strongly support such motion because firstly, educational institutions provide structured education and awareness. According to Smith Harris, he said, and I quote, that education and the main purpose of education is to change mirrors to windows. Even Nelson Mandela quoted that education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world, implying that educational institutions provide structured education and help students to know the disadvantage and consequence that drug abuse leads to. My esteemed judges permit me to advise my government to throw, steer, and step on every piece of idea each day to counter my point. Because I am not just here today, but to pass my knowledge to scatter every point, counter and counter. Again, my name is I'm thanking Lagos State Government for providing correctional center and help drug addicts become the best version of themselves. And also thanks to the District 9111 for I know the disadvantage of drug abuse, and at this point, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to consolidate my stand with very point to put beyond reasonable doubt, to lead from the authoritarian command of confusion to the level of understanding that educational institution indeed plays a vital role in the vital role in
The next representative as well. The time starts now.
Good day, Mr. Chairman, panel of judges, great time people, ladies and gentlemen. Standing before you yesterday is Zion Copia, and I explained of Maine Senior High School. In addition to what my chief speaker has said, ladies and gentlemen, I strongly support the motion which says educational institutions play a greater role than preventing drug abuse. Firstly, education, sources, and awareness right consistently. Secondly, good counselors and teachers to detect any signs of drug abuse and help to create a lasting cycle. Some parents might contribute. Nevertheless, let's not forget that drug abuse isn't just concerning an individual child of the peer group. What about how to prevent drug abuse? Educational institutions are on the front line, improved, consistent, and organized. One of our great losses at Zoro is improving education and awareness and real interest us together. To wrap up, educational institutions use the reach the environment to efficiently prevent drug abuse more consistently than our parents. Their supervision, program, and also their real interest management helps us to create a long-lasting positive impact. And this make educational institutions a key factor in preventing and fighting drug abuse. Thank you.
Thank you, too. All right, we're moving on. Wow. All right. Now we're down to 3 more schools. Before we wrap up this first round, just have 3 more schools left. Okay. And the next school is the Interact Club of Conservative Comprehensive College. Where are they? Where are they? Where are they? All right. The time starts what? Thank you.
Good morning, Honorable Chairperson, esteemed judges, wonderful opponents, and ever but now to be involved in the prayer hours, a bona fide student of Ontario Comprehensive College, and stand firmly to support the motion, which says educational institutions play a greater role than parents in preventing drug abuse. Drug abuse is not just a global problem, it is a Nigerian reality. Distinguished judges, statistics do not lie. According to the National Drug Use Survey, about 14.4% of Nigerians aged 15 to 64, that is 14.3 million people, have used drugs, and almost 70% of this population are youth. Other studies across Nigeria report that between 20% and 40% of every secondary school student had already tried drugs. Now I ask, if parents alone can prevent drug abuse, would this number be so alarming high? No. Even medical experts agree that parents cannot carry this burden. Dr. Ralia Zakarele of Yabando Psychiatrist Hospital made this clear when she said enlightenment campaigns should be taken to primary and secondary schools up to the tertiary level as a task of sensitizing the youth on the dangers of drug abuse. The left parents alone. We now discover that now if some children are exposed at that early stage, who see them clearly at that age? Of course, it's their teachers, their institutions, and their schools. But if we wait for parents, then we are already too late. And that is why educational institutions play the greater role. Let me show this out to the Nigerian reality. In 2024, the NDLEA and the Ministry of Education found that at Lagos State, 30.6% of secondary school students had already tried drugs, and 7% are active with that. So you see that schools are not just witnesses to the problem, they are the battleground. Tell me, can every parent explain the neurological effects of cocaine, cannabis, or cocaine? No, some don't even know what cocaine looks like. But schools can provide biology. Parents provide knowledge, but institutions provide knowledge. A parent can influence one child, but a school can be hundreds, just a simple assembly. The NAFDAC Cash Them Meal program has established drug-free clubs in Edo State, River State, and the Federal Capital Territory, impacting thousands at once. Ladies and gentlemen, drug abuse is not just a family matter, it is a national crisis requiring professional, structural, and large-scale interventions. Yes, parents have a role, but educational institutions, their time, their reach, their curriculum, their discipline, and their national network play the greater role. Let me end with an African proverb which says,
Thank you. All right, let's move. I like that. Maybe the first person is done, the second representative should come forward. All right, the time starts what? All right.
Good ladies and gentlemen, panel of judges, African and paper, all debaters, and my neighbor audience. My name is Romney Abdullah Gabriel, and I am a representative of Ansar Compressive College. I stand here to justify the fact that education institution plays a greater role in parents in preventing drug abuse. You might wonder why I so much believe in this fact. No, one, whether it's a daily contact. Students spend up to 6 to 8 hours in school and few active hours with the parents. According to UNESCO in the year 2020, over 90% of children aged 6 to 17 are being enrolled in school. This means that the school is in a better position to consistently shape attitude and educate about the danger of drug abuse. Many parents are either ignorant, busy, or even sometimes use it themselves. I agree that the parents might influence their children. Influence is important, but prevention requires skills and knowledge. A parent prepares value, but schools provide facts, peer programs, and counseling that target drug abuse. Now, this is my question. The parents are the main shield against drug abuse. Then how do you explain the fact proven by the National Bureau of Statistics that over 14.4% of adults aged 15 to 64 are drug users themselves? That's over 14 million people. Can they outrightly correct their children from following the same path? No. And now here is a question for you, moderator. In 2023, the United States of America spent $3.5 billion investment in school-based anti-drug programs. Now, if education institutions are not more effective, then why does US and Nigeria invest billions in school-based anti-drug programs instead of home? Program, which is the drug abuse resistance education, we started in the United States of America, to the NDLEA collaboration with Nigeria schools. Judges, the evidence are overwhelming. Schools have proven themselves to be frontliners in defending children and youth against drug abuse. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So we're moving on to the next school before we wrap up on this first round of debate competition. And the next school is the Interact Club of Okwebi Junior High School. Where are they? Where are they? Oh yeah. Look out that one.
Good day, Mr. Chairman. Of judges, accurate transcribers and my co-debaters, and also the esteemed Rotarians. My name is Majidra Aderoke, and I'm here to represent the school, which is the Okwebi Junior Grammar School. I am the president of the Interact Club of Okwebi Junior Grammar School. Before I go, I would like to Educational institutions are buildings of structure that are built or constructed for the purpose of learning. We are parents, are people, are persons, we believe better to pray, guide, and nurture a child. What is drug abuse? Drug abuse is the wrong or improper use of drugs. It is the use of drugs without doctor's prescription. Types of drugs that are being abused by people in cocaine, internet, etc., etc. Now let me go into my point. How can an individual opposing this motion because actually and strongly believe that educational institutions play a greater role than parents in preventing drug abuse. But you know what? When I was asking, I forgot to say the motion. So can the judges say the motion or start again? Should I start this? Mr. Chairman, my phone later. With Patrick Bagan as a okay? I am the representative of my junior grammar school. I am talking before you here today. Our education, which state, educational institution, play a greater role than parents in preventing drug abuse. I am the president of the International of Preventing Drug Abuse. My God, I want to find the new world. Educational institution and buildings of structure that are built or constructed for the purpose of learning. We are parents and people who are people who give birth to pray that and nurture a child. What is drug abuse? Drug abuse is the wrong or improper use of drugs. It can be the use of drugs without doctor's prescription. Types of abuse drugs are internet, cocaine, etc., etc. Now let me go into my point. Surely and truly believe that parents are the ones who can play a better role in preventing drug abuse among their children. Let me use the house as an example. When there is no foundation, the house will stand there because there is nothing holding it down. Such a house is destroyed. This is the same thing with educational institutions and children. Even if you like to talk about the danger of drug abuse in the institution, if they don't have parents to enlighten them about it, you cannot have the institution, you won't have any impact from there.
Thank you. Let's go. Quickly, please. A round of applause. Your time is up.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, panel of judges, invited guests, and esteemed rotators. My name is Akisel Sexy, the representative of Open Capital Government, and I am here to oppose the motion, which states that educational institutions play a greater role than parents in preventing drug abuse. First of all, what are educational institutions? Educational institutions are places where learning and teaching takes place. While drug abuse is the misuse of drugs or the use of illegal substances, such as cocaine, marijuana, and Indian hemp. While the importance of educational institutions are not denied, parents play a greater role than educational institutions in preventing drug abuse because they are the first teachers. Number one, they create a foundation of ethical. Create a foundation. Create a foundation of emotional connection and strong. The ones that people are scared to face peer pressure or mental issues. Number two, they are the post role models. They are the ones that judge parents' purpose, and they are the only ones that can take care of their children. In conclusion, I would like to say that education is a greater than experience in raising children.
Thank you very much. All right. So we have come to the last school. Was of course not the last item for today. All right, for this first round of the debate competition, and that is the Interact Club of Estate Senior Grammar School. Your time starts what?
Yeah, Mandela said that in quote, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Good morning, honorable guests, my co-debater. My evolution audience. The former five students of education members representing the Interact Club of the school. The motion before us is that educational institutions play a greater role than parents in preventing drug abuse. I stand before you in favor of this motion. To begin with, I would like to highlight the key words in this motion, which are educational institutions, parents, and drug abuse. Educational institutions are organizations that provide learning resources and opportunities to students. This also includes schools. Parents, in general terms, the person who has a child or more. Drug abuse is the misuse of drugs in a way that can harm both physical and mental health. We know why I argue in favor of this motion. Firstly, structured education and awareness. Educational institutions provide structured education and awareness that equip students with the knowledge and skills necessary to resist substance abuse. Schools have the infrastructure and resources to implement comprehensive drug education that cover the risks, consequences, and refusal skills, which parents may lack because they don't have time. They spend most of their daytime at work, leaving the child at home. But schools have no time less than 5 to 6 hours to teach. And in this teaching, there is not education because I have no doubt in my mind whatsoever that all of us here have came across this topic, drug abuse, in one subject or the other. Secondly, early intervention and support. Educational institutions are well positioned to identify at risk students and provide targeted support, thereby preventing substance abuse. Teachers and counselors are often the first to notice changes in child behavior and provide that often the first to notice the child behavior. Because a child who is active in class, so after taking this drug, the child will never be active again. Because this drug makes them dull. They will even be the ones to inform the parents about this child's behavior. Because when the parent is supposed to know, the child should probably pretend and say he or she is stressed up at school. The last but not the least, peer influence and social skill development. Educational institutions can harness the power of peer influence and social skill development to promote positive and good attitudes among students. In conclusion, parents also be a role model of their child in abusing drugs because some parents even take this drug, they abuse it. And not only are drugs like cocaine, heroin, marijuana, and India abuse, even crack.
All right. Let's move on. Your time starts what?
Standing on the existing protocol, my name is Abdullah Islam, representative of the State Senior Grammar School. I stand before you today to firmly support the motion, which is educational institution prevents drug abuse and drug abuse. Education don't prevent drug abuse in students now prevent. Firstly, I would like to talk about firstly, education do not have structured environment. Education institutions have structured rules and regulations that are guiding the school and property related. The students are type of people who are feared for suspension and expulsion, and this fear for suspension and expulsion will make them stay away from. Educational institution. When we talk about drug abuse, Whenever you see young people into drug abuse, the first thing that comes to my mind now, don't they have parents? But the truth about them is that they are not in school, and the idle hand is the devil's workshop. I go into the point of my opponent who said that charity begins at home. What do you mean by that? Is it that drug abuse begins from the parents or it begins from their house? I don't understand the point. I don't understand that. When you speak of drug abuse, we go down to the same emotion. There's so many people under the bridge. They have homes, they have parents, but the reality is they don't go to school. They don't have to school. Education institutions are education promotes they promote campaign telling out and drug enforcement agencies in the street. Imagine a student who has made an important speech about drug abuse and you later say the student a drug abuser. That is not even possible. A student who went to school and is a speaker and has talked about the dangers of drug abuse. If you see that kind of student using drug, that person should be sentenced to jail because he has deceived so many people. And the lack of students,
All right. I want to say a big thank you and well done to all the representatives of the school, all the interactors who took part in this first round of the debate competition. Can you all give yourself a round of applause? Now, we're going to do that big, safe round of applause because we are going to welcome our wonderful and delectable guest speaker right here today, Mr. Fashakin Olusegun. Yes, as he comes forward to take us through a very interesting and important topic. Please sit back, open up your ears, open up your heart, and listen, because I'm going to find out if we're actually paying attention. Please, a round of applause.
Thank you very much. If you are clapping, make it very resounding. Oh, great. At some point, I am almost scared, and you would ask me why was I scared? Ask me why. When I saw people speaking English, gesticulating, and then proving points, I got so scared that what am I coming here to say again? When you have said almost everything I want to say. And I want to appreciate all those beautiful faces that had come ahead of me to come and see one of two things. I know those who have been clapping and those who are probably the one of debating for. Those who are not clapping and those who have never been here before. If you have not been fighting before, you understand what I'm saying. There are some points you lose points. You lose your feet. You begin to shiver, two of us, and then you begin to stammer. You stutter. Are we?
Yes, sir.
Then you say, with this viewpoint of mine, I am able to confuse you. And not to convince you. That's no. I am able to convince you, not to confuse you. You don't even know which one. But the truth of the matter is, we are here to learn, and you have taught us very well. Another round of applause for that. So one of the debaters took my topic and then started working on that. She said, learning today, learning tomorrow. Yeah, that's a very good topic, and I want to say thank you so much. Oh, nobody on the idea for my friend. Okay, thank you. I want to say thank you to the Rotary Club, the Interact, the Rotary Kids for this wonderful work you have put together. I must confess that it is truly a wonderful work. It's a wonderful work because if you are asking for the future, don't go too far. Just come into this hall and I can tell you what the future of Nigeria holds. Indeed, we have a very greater hope in Nigeria, especially when it comes to social interaction and public speaking. I have seen in some young minds like Gerard, Ovina, Abi. I hope I'm correct from Okiafa. I hope I'm correct. What's your name? Ovinali, yes. I have to take note of that. And some wonderful minds. And then my Oga sitting beside me asked that she's been seeing wonderful people from schools
coming to talk. It's a very wonderful topic that you have presented to us. I have just 15 minutes and I will do that as quickly as I think I should. So what is it to learn? That's the first question. What is it to learn? What are we learning? You will agree with me that over time, there are two sides of the story that says that human beings are born with a blank mind. That we are all born with a what? Blank mind. They said that the human mind is a tabula rasa. While another school of thought said no, that we all came with a genetic coding that tells us what we want to learn or what we want to become. Either way, one thing remains. If you are coming blank, you will fill up that tabula rasa. If you are not coming blank, then somebody has filled up what you want to do. And you will agree with me also that in parents and other guardians, we have children that are taken after them. Like Albert Banduras once said that modeling is a key. That children watch their parents as they behave, or they watch their mentor as they do, and they take after them. And in the same manner, what we do today are product of what we have learned in the past. How many of you agree with that? Do you agree? The way you walk, the way you speak, the way you look, the way you talk, the way you eat, you learn them, two of us. Where you learn them from differ. And so when we talk about an institution like a school, that they don't play any role in the life of modeling, then we might likely be wrong. Because that's exactly where social interaction comes into play. Most times when you give birth, just like some of us who give birth to a very small number of children, where will your children learn other things from other children? When especially you hear them sing some songs in your house, for parents who are here, you've never played that song at all in your house. And then you hear your children singing it, you now open your mouth. Like, where is this child learning this from? Or a dancing step that you itself you don't even know how to carry. Like that butterfly dance. How many of you know how to do that butterfly dance? You know how to do that? And that butterfly. I don't know. See what mommy is saying. Is that butterfly? She's using her hand. Butterfly is its leg now. And she's doing like this. Is that butterfly dance? Yes. When you get to ask one of your girls, they will do it. They will dance for you and you are surprised. Which means that they are learning one or two things outside. In fact, I must let you understand that they learn more outside than they do inside. So most times, that is who we are. We are social animals. So what we do is we want to pick things outside. See finish, like we used to say, is why we don't learn what we see at home. Because you don't want to, they are not new to you again. So you want to learn outside. A child who learns how to smoke, probably the father is not even smoking. Where did he get that from? From outside. A child who is lying will probably not learn that from the parents. Where is he learning it from? From outside. So a child who becomes religious will also learn it from probably the institution, religious institution, or somewhere where he hears it. If you tell your child now that I want to read the Holy Quran, or I want to read the Bible, he will just go inside and do as if he's doing so. But the truth is, let the teacher tell the child, you must finish one chapter. The child will do so. Why? Because that is how we are designed. So when you learn some of these things, they are not what we learn in a cookie book. They are things we would have learned outside. So when we are learning, we should also be conscious of what we are actually learning. We should be conscious of what we are learning. And one of the things we want to learn is that how to lead. Like some of us were trained to speak. Some of us are trained to interact with people. You can't, a child born by two deaf and mute parents still talks. How did he learn that? Via learning. And learning will take place anywhere in the world. So whenever we want to, we should be cautious. You are in the car, lying to a policeman or a road safety man. When your child is in that car, what is the child learning? How to outsmart the law enforcement agent. And that's where we make things. As we are sitting here now, I can tell you, lives are transformed as a result of what they have heard today. How? Because they saw a child
who could speak better than them. And they will go back home to go and rehearse so they can do better. And that is one of the things we need to do. So in what we do, there are special ways by which parents will also try. Some of us will make choices for your children about schools they want to attend. Why? Because you saw a product of that school and you want your child to also belong. The reason why schools now formulate the habit of putting the names of their best students, they don't put the names of those who got F9. Have you ever seen a school and say, we tried here, but here? No, they will only put the names of their best students, showing you that their school is one of the places your child should come. And that's how we learn in our society. So if you are looking for the better future for Nigeria, then you should be looking for how to let your children learn. When we are talking about corruption, it shouldn't be based on speaking. It should be based on showing them that this is wrong. You don't evade tax. I pay my tax. I show evidence to my children, so they will not evade tax. I don't lie. I show evidence to them. So I would have given you an icebreaker, but of course, let me just tell you, when you get home, just imagine what you want to become in the next 20 years. And make a headline of it. You all know about ChatGPT, right? So you can give a prompt on ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT, I want you to design my picture. You can download your own picture and upload on ChatGPT and say, make this picture one of the picture of the headline of the tabloid. Maybe you want your name to appear on Forbes. You know what Forbes is? It's one of those newspapers that talks about some of those influential people in the world. And say, put my picture and tell what you want your name to carry in the next 20 years. I did my own, but for that project, I said, tell the world that here comes the superhero. And that's exactly what is running in my mind. That I want to be someone who can be pointed at, that I am a superhero. Can you tell your neighbor that? You are not saying like you are a superhero. So if you want to become a superhero, you won't continue to watch cartoons of those who are minions. You know what minions are? Yes, my kids used to watch Minions, and I said, oh, you want to be watching Minions when there are other movies or other cartoons that talks about people who are great in life. You could watch scientific movies that will transform lives, that will inspire you. So these are some of the things you need to learn. There are 3 groups of persons in a school or in every society you find yourself. So when you want to learn, you must be selective. Tell your neighbor, if you want to learn, be selective. Be selective. What that means is that you select the type of friends you want to go with. There are some high risers. These are people who are on the top. You want to work with them, then you must match up their speed. And there are these ones who are always sitting on the fence. They will follow anywhere belle face. In our own time, we call them NFA, no future ambition. So what they do is that anything that comes, what do you want to become? I'll be thinking about, I'm still thinking about it. 5 years after, I am still thinking about it. How long will it take you to think about what you want to become? But there are this other group of persons that you want you to belong to, because whether you like it or you don't like it, you will find them. These ones are just at the bottom. And they are not moved. I'm not saying that they have done it to themselves, but the level of what they have learned, when in a classroom, you can ask teachers seated here, when in a classroom you are teaching a child, probably 40 students, you are so sure that at least 20% of them will pick what you have taught them at one instance. And that's exactly how life is designed. So that is why teachers are now encouraged to begin to give them this preferential teaching, that to match up with others, so that at what level they want to learn, you offer them such. And that's exactly why I am telling you that when you want to learn, you work with those you want to become. That's why the Holy Scripture says that he who wants to be wise will work with what? Wise. The wise. Then he who wants to be foolish will do what? I didn't say so.
I didn't say so. It was, yeah, it's not written there, but of course, you have a reverse statement or such. So I talked about the psychology of education, where we talk about the cognitive development of a child. The cognitive development of a child. At age 13 to 19, your brain is beginning to develop. Taking things, learning things. That's why sometimes adolescent age and teenagers are always, those ages are one of those most difficult ages you can handle. Parents in the house, am I saying the truth? If you want to handle them, it will take time. Why? Because it's a critical stage in their life when curiosity comes in. They ask questions. And so when they do so, they want to identify themselves with something in life. So this aligns with the brain development in the prefrontal cortex. So if you talk about the brain, your biology child is going to tell you about that. You have different parts of the brain, the frontal part, the back, the mid brain. And so socio-cultural theory will tell us that the role of the social interaction we have will always influence our language learning. And that's why as an adult, I can't learn a new language. It will take me more time. But if you take any of these young minds to anywhere in the world where English is not spoken, they will speak English, and they will speak that language so fluently in a matter of time. Why? Because that is when they are developing. So as an adolescent, they need motivation, they need reward to enable them to match up with life. Why? Because their brain is developing. I'm trying to rush things up. Then we talk about the neuroplasticity and learning. Neuroplasticity. What that means is that the psychology of learning, where we talk about behaviorism and constructivism. Behaviorism and constructivism. It shows that with reinforcement, a child continues to learn. So if I take you to the community of the rich, the tendency of you becoming rich in the next 10 years is very, very high. Why? Because you have been seeing this and it is continuous in your life. So you should always learn what you want to become tomorrow, which is very important. So the power of learning, there are three-part foundation. One of it is the character. You want to become what you want to become. That is who you want to become. Character. And how to build on your character will be based on what you have learned over time. So you meet this person, they come to tell you this. You meet this particular person, you come to learn this, and then it forms your character. So as a result, they can say well of you in any society. Another thing that you must learn is the area of skills. What you can do, skills. Now, there are three forms of skills. We have the learning skills, you have the life skills, and then you have the other third one, if I remember. But on the learning skill, which of course I've been working research on the learning skills, there we have creativity, you have communication, you have collaboration. Now, all are critical thinking. Now, all of these skills will be very crucial for you as you grow up. How you can think critically in life. That is, when a problem comes, you always look for how to bring solution. Then to work as a team. Some of you want to work in a silo. You always be shouting when they put you in a group. Especially how to work with people who are not matching up to your level of knowledge. It's a skill you must acquire so that you can work hand in hand with people. Then it is like it's no longer about competition. That's why I like what they just did here. It's not about competition, but what? Collaboration. What did I say? Collaboration. That is, you work together with others. You are not saying I am the best, but that we are the best. Say that.
We are the best.
It's just that someone who did better than you is not competing with you. The person has only shown a skill you don't have. You have another skill better off than the other person. And you can always work together to create a better team. So in the 21st century, always work towards creating a collaboration with people that can take you higher. And the last of the foundation is knowledge, what you know. What you know. I was asking sometimes ago from some group of persons that do they know
some of those Olympic medalists in the world. They wouldn't even mention the one in Nigeria. Who? Who? Tobi Amusan. Even before her, we had other two persons. Apart from Tobi Amusan, we had other two persons. If you can still remember. Now, these are some of the things you need to know. And that in itself will create an avenue for you to do. And I will always tell you the quality of tomorrow's leader if you want to become a leader tomorrow. Should I tell you?
Yes, sir.
Should I tell you?
Yes, sir.
How many of you want to be leaders? Oh, very few. Not everyone, of course, it's not expected. Oh, great. Now, to all of you that have raised up your hand that you want to be a leader, so shall it be.
Yeah.
I say, so shall it be. Critical thinking is one of those things leaders will have. How to think critically, solving problems, a problem-solving skill. Another one is communication. Is what?
Communication.
When you came here to talk, it's not about shouting. There was a lady there, when the first speaker came, she was gesticulating all over the whole stage. That is her own skill. And the second speaker came, and she was so subtle. And they wanted to make her feel so inferior. No. She's actually conveying her point in her own way. How best she feels she could have done it. And that's the way I see life. Okay? So if they work together, they will make a very good team at when it is most needed. Another one is collaboration. Collaboration. I have said that, and it's one of the skills that you will need to become a leader tomorrow. Don't compete. I hope you have heard now. Not that one that you'll be running race together and you do leg, you set leg for the other person. No. I watched a particular athletics competition where they were all running, and the man was seriously ahead of others. All of a sudden, something happened. He developed spasm on his muscle, and he couldn't finish the race. You know what? The second position person held him and took him to that finish line to make him claim that medal that it doesn't belong to him. That is what I'm expecting of you, young people. Hello? How many of us will do that? See, if you are very good, if you are waiting for us adults, you will be driving your car in Nigeria, in this Nigeria, and you are almost going under a truck. The other person saw you, and the person is now blocking you that you don't come this way. Instead of you to give way for the person to come so that the person doesn't run under the truck,